Good afternoon, fellow students, faculty, and loved ones. I'd like to thank Medill for the opportunity to deliver this address to the class of 2018. As several of you know, I always have one answer when people ask me who I count as a role model, one of the best journalists of our time and the forever queen of daytime television, Oprah Winfrey. We're kind of similar. She does TV, I want to do TV. She likes bread, I love bread, so on and so forth. She wrote a book called What I Know for Sure. It's a collection of reflections on life, love, work, peace, and purpose. I first read the book a year ago, shortly before I came to Medill, and even though I am many years her junior with more learning to do, there are some things I know for sure just for being a student in the MSJ program. We've all heard that this is a fantastic time to be a journalist. We also have heard that it is an incredibly difficult time to do this work. I know for sure that both sides are true, and I don't have to remind you how hard some days are. And maybe you can remember the relief and excitement when you sent that big draft, or you got your first story published on Medill Reports, or in your favorite news outlet. I know for sure that journalism is filled with highs and lows, and that as journalists, we may have some boring moments, but our lives as a whole will never be dull. Another thing I know to be true is that we would not be here today without the amazing faculty and staff who have worked to make our Medill experiences as fulfilling and wonderful as they could be. Thank you all for pushing us to be better, for giving us room to breathe and accommodations when we were too afraid to ask for them, for building us up in our low moments and celebrating our triumphs. We are better for having known you and having worked with you, and we are truly grateful for everything that you do. While I'm at it, I would be remiss if I didn't say the same thing to all of the family and friends with us here today. Personally speaking to my family, I appreciate all of the things you've done to support me and my career. Every time you shared my articles, watched my stories, critiqued my reel, and made sure that my hair looked just right when you knew I had to shoot a really good stand-up. Thank you for supporting me and doing what I love. And now to my classmates. As we move forward with our careers, I hope we can all remember how lucky we are to do this work. Even when we have to deal with hard deadlines and hard drafts and all of the obstacles that make our jobs so challenging, we are still privileged to tell stories that are often not our own. Because if you think about it, no one is obligated to speak to the press. You can probably think back through this year alone and remember at least one time when a source said, "Sorry, I can't do it. I can't give you that interview," or "I can't talk about that one thing." You know, the thing that's crucial to your story, your selling point, your kicker. Think of all the times your sources didn't want to be on camera or have their voice on tape, or when someone didn't want you poking around in their business. And now think of all the times that people have said yes to you, the times that they opened themselves up to you and were brave enough to share their story, no matter the consequences. Think of all the stories we've told as a class, from Havana to Hyde Park, from Paris to the Pedway. We've covered housing and high school basketball, protests for Puerto Rico and criminal justice reform, and women's rights and fashion shows and rallies and races and religions and so many other topics. We did that, and all in 1 year. Just as we have been privileged to tell so many stories in Chicago and around the world, I am proud to call you colleagues and friends, and I know that we will all do great work no matter where we go after today. I know for sure that we are all great journalists, and we will continue to be great. We talk a lot about the future and our short-term goals and long-term goals in our careers. We've talked about where we want to work, the kinds of stories we want to write, and I love that we have these conversations. I love that we as a class are so ambitious and driven. I'm confident that things will be all right for us as long as we remember what we do and who we do it for. In closing, I want to thank my classmates for allowing me to grow as a journalist and as a leader, for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, for telling your stories and sharing your truths. We have made each other better and taught each other lessons in and out of the classroom, and I hope we carry these lessons with us wherever we go. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2018.